Yeah, being coachable is so important.
Being coachable,
right? Because if Michael Jordan wanted to teach me how to shoot a jumper, I'm a listen.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, listen, it doesn't have to be Michael Jordan. If Harrison Barnes wants to, no disrespect to Harrison Barnes.
No.
I'm like,
sure.
If he wants to teach me how to shoot a jumper, if he looks at my jumper and goes, "Oh, you got to do X, Y, and Z," I'm gonna listen.
Yeah.
I'm at least try it out. You know what I mean?
Because the shit I'm doing is not working.
I'm not, you know? And I think so many people will ask for advice or ask for feedback.
Let's go.
I give you feedback because I care.
Yeah.
Because I want you to succeed. I want to see you win. Yeah, so when people offer you feedback, why not listen?
Why not listen?
Red Cup in the building. Yo, what up? It's another episode of the PoetUp podcast. It's your boy MallChi in the building.
You know what I would love to see? I would love to see like a poetry slam, but nothing but commissioned corporate poems. Like,
that would be interesting to watch.
That would be so fun to watch.
Yeah.
And
it would only be like 25 to 30 poets that could act.
But look,
that's fine.
But look, here's the thing. So if you say, hey, Nike, Reebok, and Adidas, you know what I'm saying? We've got 1, 2, 3 poems. Poets are going to do a poem about whatever topic you choose about your product. Your buy-in is 100K. So each company puts in 100K. Whichever one wins, like they win the prestigious corporate. The poet gets 50K, and then you donate the rest to whatever charity that you see fit. Like it'd be a way to sort of to dump money into this giving model, but also just taking these poems that we literally probably only will ever do one time, and then get to really put it on a platform. I think that would be so much fun.
Yeah, and from there, the corporate sponsors can also like pick and choose and like employ.
They commission you straight from there. Yeah.
That's dope.
I like that idea a lot.
That is
super dope.
Look at Blues coming up with ideas.
I'm only saying that because I got a gang of corporate poems that I need to get off.
Me, you, Rudy, Asia Sampson,
Sekou. Shihan's got a couple in the bag. Sonny Patterson.
Yeah.
Sonny Patterson got a few. Brandon Leak, bro, that would be a crazy ass slam.
By the way, you mentioned Brandon Leak, and like we're sitting here with Blues, and we're sitting here with Rudy. So for the city of Charlotte, if you don't know,
Jay Ward. Like Jay Ward acts like he's not.
You excluded yourself there.
Yeah, like he had like he.
But there's a reason. I excluded myself for a reason.
Okay.
Anybody in Charlotte knows, and outside of Charlotte, like what Blues has done to trailblaze for us as poets, to show us what's available, what's possible, to be the voice of the Panthers, to be the voice of the Charlotte Hornets, right? To show us there's so much beyond slam and there's so much beyond open mics. If this is what you want to do, if this is your purpose, there's so much beyond that. And we're sitting here with Rudy, who is on Jimmy Fallon, who's on The Bachelorette, who's working with the Chargers and the San Diego Football Club, right? You're showing us so many options. So at the time, so many options of what is available. We don't know it's available, but it can be available. I think it's not only a lesson in trailblazing, but it's also a lesson in your talent is worth it. You can do it, but you do have to do the work. You have to believe in yourself enough to take that step forward and do it. But there are lanes there. You don't just have to, if you have talent and this is your calling and this is your purpose, you don't have to just, and there's nothing wrong with just slamming. And there's nothing wrong with just going to open mics. But if this is your calling, if this is what you were meant to do and you feel that way, there are lanes available. And it means so much. It's like in the 1920s, Superman is white and that's it. And everything that's coming out in comics is white and that's it. You see T'Challa and you know there's something else. There's something else. So partly this is not even a question. This is me saying thank you to you and to Blues. But also it's me saying, like, what's your advice? Like, what's your advice to those that are watching that are like, and trust that if you're watching and you're a poet, you may or may not have this calling and that is fine. But for those that do, Like, what do you think is the lesson, or what do you think is the thing to take away from, like, what's next? Because people aren't going to call you all the time.
Yeah, not all the time.
Yeah.
I think being invested in doing the work, I think that's a lot of it starts there, right? Because, you know, we had this conversation a while ago about like poets being paid.
Yeah.
Right. And of course, people are split, you know, as to like what poets should be paid and how much and all these things, right? And that asked me one time, they were like, do you think like, you know, there should be like almost like a league
union
minimum, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I love playing basketball.
Yeah.
I played basketball my entire life. The Lakers are not interested.
Right.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
Because I haven't gotten to that point in my skill
Facts.
to where there's a league willing to offer me money to play.
Yeah.
Right. And I feel like, well, I still get to go out and I still get to play. I still play every Wednesday, Friday, you know, but it's a hobby.
Yeah.
And I think you got to decide whether or not it's a hobby and whether or not it's going to be a profession.
Yeah.
Because if it's a profession, then you also have to make different choices.
Yeah.
Like you should be working on your craft every day.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter if if I enjoy making burgers, then I open up a burger restaurant.
Right.
Then you come to my restaurant, you're like, this burger is terrible. And I'd be like, well, I just love making burgers. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh my God, this is great.
yeah, like you're not gonna come back. Because I love doing it doesn't qualify me to do it professionally.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, did I go to culinary school? Like, did I study on how to make a hamburger and make it taste good?
Yeah.
Like, these are all of the things that go into being a professional. It's like, are you putting in the work every day to be a professional?
Yeah.
Are you making the choices to be a professional? Or are you making the kind of choices that will lead to this just being a hobby?
Yeah.
And I think that becomes the difference maker, you know?
Yeah.
And you can be a professional hobbyist.
True.
Like that's not a bad thing. It's just like don't be disillusioned.
If I can use the same analogy, just to harp on the point of putting the work in.
Yeah.
We've all been to a restaurant where we're like, man, this restaurant is popular. I can make a better burger than this.
Yep.
Okay. That's cool. You can. All right. And you've watched a poet tour in your city, or you've watched a poet be successful with corporate poems. You've watched a poet do amazing things, and you've said, I can write better poems than this poet. Okay.
Yeah.
But can you put the work in?
Exactly. Can you write the appropriate poems for this lane?
Yes.
Right? Because I'm not the best poet. There are a bunch of people who are way better writers than me. A bunch of people who are way better performers than me. Right? But it would be hard to find somebody who does more work than I do. I watch poetry hours.
Talk your shit, Rudy.
Right? Like, if somebody names a poet, I know who they are.
Yeah.
I could rattle off names of poems that they have, right? Like, I could do probably like 30 poems of other people's work, you know? And I think a part of it is, are you putting in the hours, you know, to be successful in that lane? Because, of course, like, I do what I do, but then there's so many people who go like, okay, they write corporate. They do corporate stuff. And that's a whole different lane.
It is,
right?
yeah.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like, there are people who travel and they do shows like I do. That's a different lane. Like, there are people who also travel around and a lot of their money comes from, like, winning invitational slams. That's a different lane, right? Like, there's, like, Hanif Abdul-Rakib, who's an essayist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's Dinez, you know, who's mastered the page. There's so many lanes available, but if you don't pick one and look at what's going to make you successful in that lane, then you're probably going to end up being disappointed and disillusioned because you weren't able to be successful. But if you're putting in the work to be in that lane, then that's going to be the difference maker. Right? Like, there are people who play professional basketball, and their kids end up playing professional basketball because, like, there's certain drills that you do
It's just ingrained.
that are different. Because if I want to be a good shooter, I'm like, okay, well, I should just go out and just, like, shoot 300 times a day. You know what I mean? But somebody who's in the NBA would be like, nah, like, why aren't you moving around and shooting the ball?
Yeah.
Because that's not a game shot. how often are you standing right there with the ball to take that shot? You're moving around the whole game. You know what I mean? You got to tire yourself out and then get to that spot and then see if you can still shoot it. Yeah, you know? Right. And there's certain things that go into how you prepare for your lane that if you're not doing it, it's going to make it so much more difficult to be successful. Yeah. So I think preparation is so important and asking the right questions about people who are in that lane already. Because so many people will talk to you. Yep. You know, like so many people will be like, oh, yeah, you got to do this, and this, and you got to do this. And you know what I mean? They'll offer you advice, but you also got to be willing to take the advice. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You got to be willing to take the feedback. Yep. And you got to be willing to also implement, you know?
And can I add one more thing? Mm-hmm. You also got to be willing to understand if that certain parts of that advice is not necessarily for you.
True. Yeah, being coachable is so important.
Being coachable,
right? Because if Michael Jordan wanted to teach me how to shoot a jumper, I'm a list.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, listen, it doesn't have to be Michael Jordan. If Harrison Barnes wants to, no disrespect to Harrison Barnes. No. I'm like,
he's playing a game that you have not been able. He's at a level that you have not been able to reach.
Yeah, for sure. If he wants to teach me how to shoot a jumper, if he looks at my jumper and goes, "Oh, you got to do X, Y, and Z," I'm gonna listen.
Yeah.
I'm at least try it out. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Because the shit I'm doing is not working.
I'm not, you know? And I think so many people will ask for advice or ask for feedback. You'll give them feedback, then they'll fight you on the feedback.
Right.
Because
I've had to tell people, like, yo, and this is gonna sound fucked up, but it's real. I was like, hey, like if you decide that you never want to write another poem, I still go on tour next week. You know what I mean?
Let's go.
I give you feedback because I care.
Yeah.
Because I want you to succeed. I want to see you win.
Let's go.
But if you don't, like, I'm still doing what I'm doing regardless. So when people offer
I'm
you
still
feedback,
sipping this Maker's Mark, baby. Let's go.
So when people offer you feedback who are not who your success is not linked to in any sort of way, and they're at a point where you want to get to,
right?
Why not listen?
Why not listen?
Woo.
Yeah. So I got one more question before we get into some other stuff. When are we getting the Fiveology documentary? And I hate that y'all didn't call it the Blacks in Five. I wish it would have been called the Blacks in Five.
That's what happened, right? So Joe Jackson was suing people.
Oh, and Joe Jackson was heavy with it too.
He was suing everybody. So we were like, nah, we don't want that smoke.
Yeah, we don't want that. Not because Joe might actually pull up on y'all.
I was like, here you go, pull up on you.
Oh man, yeah.
So we actually shot a documentary at one point.
I know,
but it just never came out.
Oh,
I think it'll be interesting because, like, you know, we're all fathers now.
Yeah.
You know, we're all in very different places of our lives from when we started. You know, like when we started, I think only I don't think Sean had. I think only Prentice was a father at the time when we all started.
Yeah, because Langston's just now what? He's 7 now, 8?
Yeah, I think Langston is a year older than Zoe. So Prentice already had 2 kids, and Anaya was on the way before any of us had kids.
Right.
So we were all in very different places. So yeah, I think it would be interesting.
That'd be so dope, man. For those who don't know, do this part where you go do a little Googling. Fiveology, and you'll see. You'll see Javon, you'll see Andrew Tyree, of course you'll see Rudy, you'll see Sean, you'll see Prentice. These 5 guys were doing something with poetry that was amazing for the time. They were on tour with Jill Scott.
Yeah.
And opening for Jill Scott. Opening for Jill Scott on tour. Not just like whenever she came to the West Coast. Yeah. They were going city to city. And they were documenting at the time. It's an amazing setup. Very historic in the way that y'all were able to sort of bring that work to life. It's the only poetry boy band I've ever seen in my life. That's what these niggas was. They was a poetry boy band. Because if you seen how they got dressed and were taking these pictures, I was like, these boys are sharp.
It was definitely giving boy band.
These boys are sharp.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Those are my brothers. I love them dearly.
Yeah.
Some of my favorite moments of all time were just like being on tour with them and just like us just like making fun of each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it was really a huge bonding experience. Bro. Like those are my brothers for real.
For real. Yeah. And if y'all know these cats, like I know these cats, I know the roasting sessions had to be epic.
Yo, like there's still like jackets that I will not wear.
But do you have them?
Yeah, I still have them. They're in my closet. But I'm like, the way I got roasted for wearing this jacket.
I could never put it on again.
Yeah.
I feel like that's between a Javon and a Sean William roast. Like those two brothers will really give it to you. Okay.
Definitely.
What are we on now next, boys?
So for the deep dive, I wanted to do. The Maker's Mark has got
It's hitting. It's made its mark.
So I wanted to kind of talk about your first Fallon experience.
Okay.
I want to play a clip from that first experience.
Yeah.
Complainers is the poem you did the first time, right? And I just want to play a snippet for the listeners.
Yeah.
But what I want to talk about is the process. Did they choose the poem? Did you choose the poem? That type of stuff, because I think it would be beneficial for poets who are aspiring to get to your level. And I hope I have the right clip. I'm gonna share it. Yeah. If it's not right, Jay Ward will fix it in post.
I find myself complaining about the small things. I say to myself, the following are all true stories. May 26th, 2003, Aaron Ralston was hiking. A boulder fell on his right hand. He waited 4 days. Then he amputated his own arm with a pocket knife. On New Year's Eve, a woman was bungee jumping in Zimbabwe. The cord broke. She then fell into a river and had to swim back to land in crocodile-infested waters with a broken collarbone. Claire Champlin was smashed in the face by a 5-pound watermelon being propelled by a slingshot. Matthew Brobus was hit by a javelin. David Striegel was punched in the mouth by a kangaroo. The most amazing part of these stories is when asked about the experience, I heard they all said, I guess things could have been worse.
So, like, one of the first questions I had was, do you choose what you do, or do they call you and say, hey, we saw this thing of yours. Can you come to our show and do this?
Yeah, so they picked like 3 poems, and then they were like, hey, which one of these 3 do you want to do?
Okay.
So that's how that came about. What's wild is that I actually messed up. One of the line is supposed to be they had to send out a search party to find my father's voice, and I said they had to find a search party to find my father's voice, and that always messed with me because you only get 1 take, right? So I've never actually watched the performance.
Oh wow! That's what I was going to ask you. Keep going.
I never actually watched the performance because I knew that I messed up, and I was like, I cannot watch this.
So I am the same way. Like if I know I flubbed, there are poems that I know I've recorded that are out there I will never watch.
Yeah.
Because I know that mistake exists in there and it's cringy. And I'm like, I cannot willingly watch that knowing that I did that. Exactly. If I never watched it, I never did it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
That shit's wild.
It is.
That shit's wild.
I never watched it because I was like, I knew I messed up right there, and there's no way I can fix it.
Yeah.
And I fixate on my mistakes, right? Which is like,
I'm so sorry that I made you listen to that.
It's fine. But I fixate on things like that.
Yeah,
right?
man.
Like that's why I never watch any of my videos because I'm always like, I could have performed that better.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't my best effort, and I can't watch it because then I have to like look at myself doing something that I think is mediocre.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. Hey, poets out there, performers out there, please, when you're following PoetUp Podcast, send us those experiences that you have. If you've performed and know that you fucked up, you'll never watch it again because you know you've done it. We'd love to hear that part of your story.
But also part of what makes greatness, and I'm in the presence of greatness.
You wrote a poem for Hill Harper, nigga.
I mean, so...
I've never done that.
Right.
But
Shout out to Hill Harper.
Shout out to Hill.
He did give me a compliment
There you
about that. But anyway,
Yeah.
but I think also what part of what makes greatness, and also part of what is the downside of being really great at what you do is never being satisfied.
Whew, that's real.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and Blues and Jay Ward can tell you, like, I make beats, right?
Yeah.
But I have never been like, yo, I've made the best beat ever. Like, part of, I feel like what makes a person good, great at what they do is like the fact that you're never satisfied at what you do. Being great is like, I'm never going to perfect it, but I'm always chasing
Exactly.
perfection.
Yeah, because you can't get comfortable.
You can't get
right?
comfortable.
Because I remember after we won nationals, because we had our team for a while, and we started off like losing to, we go to like exhibition matches, and we would like lose by like 8 points. You know what I mean? And there's decibels. We would get destroyed.
8 points is almost impossible, by the way.
Impossible.
Right.
Right? And then we got to the point to where we won nationals. And I wanted to be happy, but I couldn't. Right? The first thing was like, what took you so long? It's like, oh no, you gotta win nationals again to show that it wasn't a fluke.
Luke.
You know what I mean?
My
Like,
God.
they're all-
My God. Come on, man.
Right, like there are all these thoughts that I have immediately after I do something that's like a milestone.
Right.
It makes it almost impossible for me to be happy for myself. Where I go, wow, that was cool, but can you do it again? Can you do it bigger? Can you do it better? Can you do it quicker? You know what I mean? All these things come into mind.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, that's probably not healthy. You know what I mean?
Not at all.
But that's how my brain works.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like it's hard for me to be happy for myself. It sounds wild, right? Because I am proud of what I've done, but I'm always like, I could be better.
I could be better. I could do better. I am better.
Yeah.
Like it's those things that always pop in your head. And you're right. It's such a weird space to live in because you have just done what 99.9% of the rest of the field could not do.
Yeah.
97.4 Sujan. No.
You are the 1%, and you're not satisfied with that. Like, what the fuck else do you want from yourself?
It's like you're not competing with other people.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So being that 0.1% doesn't matter if you don't feel like you're better than what you even thought you could be.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's so wild. Like my imposter syndrome is crazy.
Yeah, your imposter syndrome is probably top tier. Like, that nigga, I'm the best imposter syndrome out there, cuz. Like, I'm on this nigga's ass.
All right. So we got we have 2 last segments. But this first last segment.
Okay.
It's
called That's Cap.
Okay, that's Cap.
That's Cap. All right.
Okay.
This is our new game show.
Okay.
All right. So the rules of That's Cap are I'm going to make some statements.
Okay.
And you are going to simply say whether it's cap or that is not cap.
Okay.
All right.
Now wait to hear all the statements
No.
after each one.
After each one.
Okay, gotcha.
All right. This is going to test your recall because you were talking about how you know all these poets that are out. All right. So you and I are press mates on Button Poetry Press. Shout out to Button.
Shout out to Button.
shout out.
Those press mates include Ebony Stewart and Neil Hilborn and Topaz Winters and Ellie Bowman, Eric Sirota. This is your cap or not cap. Your press mates also include Jared Singer, Chelsea Guevara, Meg Ford, Hanif Abdul-Rakib.
That's true.
That is true.
Okay.
Yeah, all of those are good. All right. Okay. Next, cap or not cap. Blues is a renowned Beyonce hater. But during our Grammy recap episode, even Blues expressed appreciation that she won Album of the Year. Cap or not cap?
Are you a Beyonce hater? Oh, because you were talking about her being a tourist in the category. Oh, that's true.
That is true.
Look at
All right,
Rudy.
2 for 2. Rudy is on it. Rudy is on it.
Rudy is on it.
This is not a.
Hey, Beyonce.
This next one is not necessarily a actual fact or fiction question. This is more of an opinion question. And actually, you are not as invested in this question because I assumed that you were either going to be a Lakers fan or a Golden State fan and not a Pacers fan. But you are a sports fan. All right, so cap or not cap. The Golden State Warriors made a better trade and have a better shot at the NBA championship than the Mavs or the Lakers from their trades.
Ooh.
I like that.
So
That's a great question.
That is. It really is.
I'm gonna say this, right? In the short term, I think the Golden State Warriors made a better trade. In the long term, I think the Lakers made a better trade. Because I mean Luka's only 25. Right? So I think it's gonna be interesting to see who they pair with him, how that all works out. Golden State's in win now mode, right? Which means, okay, we gotta get Jimmy. Let's figure out, because Jimmy's older as well, right? And they don't want to waste the rest of Steph Curry's career because he's only got a few more seasons left in him, right? So I think the Jimmy Butler trade makes sense because they're trying to win right now. But I think the Lakers trade makes sense for them because they're like, we're not winning anytime soon. Let's get a
And Anthony Davis is injured a lot.
but also so is Luka.
And so is Luka.
But he's also 25. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I think in the short term, I think the Golden State Warriors, I think that makes a lot of sense. I think in the long term, that Lakers trade makes a lot of sense. I think they're going to suffer in the short term because also with that Connect trade being denied, now they don't have a big in the West.
They don't have a big, right.
Who's guarding Jokic? Who's guarding Sabonis? Like who's guarding like these fives in the West right now? So I think in the short term, Golden State makes sense. Lakers are going to struggle.
So in short term, this is true and not cap.
Yeah. In the long term, I'm like, having a 25-year-old that can average a triple-double, I think it makes a lot of sense in the long term.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for playing. That's cap.
Yeah, no problem.
And technically, because the last one was not fact or fiction, you won.
I went 3 for 3.
I think this is probably like the most sports we've ever talked on our podcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for sure. For good reason though. Like everybody's not as well versed in some of these things that we ask about. But again, I think that sort of goes back to the idea that, you know, as poets, we all have these external things that are a part of our lives that really play into it. So yeah, man, I appreciate that. Yeah, that trade was crazy. Like the way it broke overnight.
Wild.
Bro, and nobody knew?
I don't even think
Luka
Luka.
didn't know.
I don't think AD or Luka knew. I think AD found out in real time when someone asked him about the trade, and the reporter's like, "Yo, check your phone."
Right.
Yeah.
Yo, do you
And
know?
the Mavs fans are
Yo, they're upset.
pissed.
Because also AD just got injured.
Yeah.
First
so
game.
He balled out.
Yeah.
That 3 quarters was incredible. Also,
Yeah.
AD does what AD does. He got injured.
I
and
gets
it's like,
hurt.
Also, Luka still hasn't played yet because he's also injured.
So he'll be coming into LA still on IL.
I believe so.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Because he still hasn't played. He was supposed to suit up yesterday.
So Tommy Tomlinson, who is a reporter for the Charlotte Observer, made a really poignant point about this trade. Right? He's like, to put it in perspective, he's like, it's super unheard of, but you're still talking about the repositioning of human beings in their job.
True.
So he was like, you would never see Bank of America trade their CEO to Wells Fargo for like 3 tellers. Like you just wouldn't see that shit. So he's like, it's crazy that happens because that plays into the human psyche of, you get it as a ball player, you get it. Like this, unless you have like a no trade clause in your contract, then you understand that one day I could wake up in a Milwaukee uniform.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Then by the end of the day, I'm in a Bulls uniform, right?
True.
And that shit happens, especially like in baseball.
Yeah.
But it was this idea that this trade happened under such, I don't want to say duress, such quietness that even the players didn't know.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of fucked up. Like for me, I get it. Like, nigga, tell me you breaking up with me. Like, tell me so I can. But also because I got a home here.
Exactly. You just bought a house.
I got all this stuff that I'm invested in communities here. I know I'm a millionaire and I could easily make this happen, but home is home, cuz like when I get done with a game, I'm used to driving down this street, turning left here, pulling in my driveway, taking off my shoes. Imagine having to try to do from Dallas to do that in LA. It's two different fucking cities.
He's from Slovenia. You know what I mean? This is his first home in the U.S.
Right. And now I got to pick up and move around. And I just saw this clip of the EuroLeague where he played, and the arena looked like a soccer stadium with the people in there for basketball. Wow. I was like, that shit was crazy.
Oh, yeah.
They love basketball.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Craziness.
Yeah. I think it's going to be interesting because you hear all the critiques about Luka and some of the reasons why they decided to trade him because, you know, he's 25 and, you know, he's not in the best shape.
Right.
You know,
they want him to lose weight.
Yeah, which is also because what's interesting is that we cooked Zion,
right,
for the same reasons.
We gave that,
but then Luka somehow gets a pass, right?
Right.
We cooked James Harden for the way that he played the game,
right? Facts.
Luka got the same game,
and
it's fascinating to me about like the ways in which we look at some of the black players and we go, you should be happy that you're here. Because Jokic don't even really like basketball for real.
No,
right.
And it's funny because the media goes, wow, it's so funny that he doesn't really like playing basketball, but he's so good. Whereas you get
Kwame Brown.
You look at how they did DeMarcus Cousins.
Yeah.
And they were like, he should be happy.
Right.
That he has an opportunity to play. And this is when Marcus Cousins was at the top of his game. He was arguably the best big in the league. They're like, he's so ungrateful.
Right.
And it's like, okay, he's ungrateful, but this guy, he's like, oh, it's kind of fun that he doesn't really like this.
Yeah, it's cute.
Yeah.
But
it's the politics are interesting.
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
All right, Rudy.
Yeah.
Just 2 more questions.
Okay.
First question. Anything you want to promote and tell the people how they can follow you, you know, get all your stuff?
So, Rudy Francisco, RudyFrancisco, on any of the social medias. You put that in, you can find me. You know, I'm touring pretty much every month. So I do about 4 shows a month. So if you want to follow me, find out where I'm going to be at next, want to, you know, buy tickets and pull up to a show, would love that. At some point, you know, I'm interested in recording a 1-hour Netflix special.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, 1-hour special in general, and then shopping it to the various platforms.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the next frontier for our craft.
Yeah.
It
definitely is.
Yeah.
It definitely is.
Yeah. And I don't know if I'm gonna be the first, but you know, I'm gonna try to.
I mean, just
Bro, I'm ready for that. I can vision that right now.
Yeah.
A Netflix special, Rudy Francisco. I can picture that right now.
Yeah, I definitely can see that. And if they don't pick it up, NPR Tiny Desk, man, y'all need to stop tripping, cuz. Okay.
Factoid.
Yeah, and also like doing it yourself, like Ali Sadiq.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
bro,
Like,
the
he
domino
shoots his
effect.
Specials, he puts them on YouTube.
Yeah.
And there's like Monique when she shot her special and just put it on her website. It was like, hey, you could pay to either rent this or buy this. So if platforms aren't interested, I think that's like another frontier for poets to do is like record your hour specials and then just like put it behind a paywall, right?
Hey,
because
man.
I think that's
Right.
that's the next thing. You know?
I feel like if you did a poetry Patreon, Rudy Francisco's playlist, you have your hour special, and then you get 3 or 4 people that you enjoy, tape their hour specials too, and put it all on that Patreon, and have people pay into it. I think people would flock to that.
Gems.
Yo,
Now
I-
you're talking about Rudy
I like that
Francisco
idea.
TV.
Yeah.
Fucking
that
blues
idea.
Sit right now.
ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Give
might,
all
that
of
might
the
be
blues
it.
away.
Yeah, I'm telling you that's
yeah.
it.
Because so often we wait for
Yeah.
platforms to
Right.
validate us.
Yes.
Yep.
And we're often begging platforms that, hey, like we have this thing, can you please pick it up?
Because you know
But
who,
making the platforms come to you.
exactly
Yeah.
because you know there was this little thing back in the like 70s and 80s that called it hip hop, and nobody was fucking with it.
Yeah.
And then when the kids started fucking with it, everybody started fucking with it because that's where the kids were going. They
Facts.
wanted to follow that
Facts.
money.
Mhm.
Poetry is in that same little
Right.
pocket.
Yeah.
It's just popular enough. You have Tank and the Bangers. You have Rudy. You still have Shihan. You have these people who are in these positions to be tastemakers and trendsetters, and also say this is what you should be doing. And then if you say, all right, y'all don't want to fuck with us. Let me go ahead and set up this whole thing where you see where this money's like. What is he doing? And how's he doing it? Let's come fuck with you. So that way, when Netflix shows up to see, like, yo, how do we get on this Poetry Patreon? You be like, I don't know. How does 80 million sound to you?
Yeah,
You
that's
get on
the move.
Right. You get on. What's your guy's name? Byron. He's a comedian. He was trying to buy the network. He's a
yeah.
Byron Allen?
Yeah.
yeah,
Byron
yeah,
Allen.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Making that major move. Like people didn't
Yeah.
understand the name Byron Allen, but he understood TV in that industry so well that he got into it. But anyway.
Yeah.
Think on that, bro. I know
that's
how to
the
shoot
move.
camera. I know how to run teleprompter. I know how to do all kind of really cool shit. Anyway,
Yeah,
all right, but
yeah.
bro, I think
That's
if
it.
anybody could pull it
That's-
off, you
yeah.
could definitely pull it off.
That's it.
Because
Yeah.
if you do that, then think about we talked about poetry invitationals. Then you could really be like UFC. It would be the UFC of poetry
Yeah.
if you got the best of the best.
Definitely. I
Anyway.
like that.
Yeah,
I
bro.
like that. I think that's got to be the next move because I feel like we've grown so accustomed to begging,
To
you know, and reaching out to networks and platforms and being like, hey, can you please
Right,
put us on?
right.
Yeah.
But like, if you build something so big that the platforms go, we need to be a part of this in some way, shape, or form.
Right.
And we go, okay, what's it going to cost you?
It's gonna cost you.
X, Y,
baby.
and Z.
Yeah. Yeah. This
That's
is where
the
the
way
word
to do it.
gatekeeping comes in big and heavy, and
Yeah.
use it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Okay. So my second question to you, are you ready to freestyle?
Whoa. No, I don't freestyle at all.
Well,
Well,
Okay.
We rapping.
this
Okay.
is what the Poet Up podcast does.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
We get you drunk, and
It's a setup.
it's a setup.
definitely.
But
Okay.
but there's no pressure on you, as Jay Ward will explain.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no pressure on you because Blues is actually gonna jump in with an amazing freestyle because Blues is great.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm gonna come in with a freestyle that is gonna get halted. This will be the alley oop to you.
Gotcha. Okay.
You'll shine, and then our anchor is the best rapper that we have. Like our best freestyler is gonna anchor, so he comes after you.
Gotcha,
So you don't have to
okay,
worry about
okay.
outshining Jamal. Like Jamal's gonna set it on fire, but he's going last.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's MallChi, but okay.
I mean, damn. MallChi, my bad.
Respect.
Yeah.
Respect my monikers and pronouns, nigga.
Oh,
All right, what
man.
beat we got today?
So today we have another beat that I made.
Word.
It's okay.
All right, this shit finna be fire.
No. Blues, are you ready?
I've been ready, cuz. Let's go. Oh, shit.
All right.
Bro, every time you say, oh, it's the beat I made, it's okay.
Right.
Shit be fucking fire. All right. 1, 2, 1, 2. Ha. Hey. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Hey, Blues. Hey, what you gonna do? I'ma spit this rhyme. I'm guaranteed I'm on time. I'm guaranteed I'm so fine. Oh, that's what I do. Hey, a 1, 2, 1, 2, and that's the count. Guaranteed you can't count me out like Dorothy counts. I'ma desegregate this whole shit. I'm guaranteed y'all I'm about to flip this whole shit. I rip shit in half. I'm guaranteed, nigga, I'm on my staff. I'm on my zone. I'm guaranteed I'm about to zone the fuck out. Yo, shit, I'm about to bug out. Hand it to Jay Ward. Jay Ward, you got to flow out.
Yo, my name is Rudy, and I'm really about to kill you. Travel from Carolina into Virginia, and then I grabbed the mic. You know what I said? I grabbed the bags and then put in the bed, and then chop off the head. The
All right,
microphone's
all right,
gone.
all right,
Blood
all right,
all over
stop.
the floor. We about to make it to
Nope,
soar.
nope, 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 nope,
Nope.
nah.
That's the first persona violence.
Nah. Last time it was werewolf violence. Now it's bags of heads. Nah, nope, nah. All right, Rudy, you could really do no wrong at this point.
Okay.
Because this nigga Jay Ward,
he went
Brisay was like, I'm Rudy from Carolina, Virginia. Rudy's like, no.
Oh my God.
No, sir.
But he's killing shows.
Yeah, we get it.
killing
We
tours.
get it. You should have stayed with that. The minute you put those bags, those heads in a bag, that's when we had to stop the show. Be like, nah.
Yeah, that was the end.
That didn't feel like metaphor at all. All right, man, give it to
All
me.
right,
Let's go.
Rudy,
So I'm
you ready?
next? Okay.
Yes. Go when you feel ready.
Go when you feel ready. Do what you feel is necessary to your creativeness, brother.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So I'm here in the place to be. Good conversation. Trying to see what the future looks like. What we're trying to do. Trying to make moves. Trying to be blue. Nah, I don't know.
Hey.
I got nothing.
Hey.
It's not my skill set.
Hey,
look.
It beats fire though.
It's okay.
I like it.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
We love this because it gets a lot of people out of their zone. They're like,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
freestyle.
yeah.
We're like, we don't care if you don't
We
freestyle.
don't care.
We don't
But-
care because we're not good at this either. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I try to make beats that are easy to rhyme to.
Gotcha.
Oh man.
All right, you're up, Jamal.
man, let's
It's
go.
my turn.
Go,
It's your
MallChi.
turn.
Oh boy. All right, here we go. Oh, the last time we freestyled, I actually gave y'all some bars.
Let's do it.
Nope. Okay, wait, hold on. Okay. All right, yeah. I'm the truth in the bitch. Oh man. Fuck. Damn. Okay, let me restart. The truth in this bitch. Let me restart.
Yo,
Let me
that's
restart. Okay, all right. Shout out to the United States of America.
Oh, you just skipped into the people that's tuned in? You're not even going to try to freestyle?
No.
All right, man. Let's go. Come on.
Not even gonna try.
Shout out to America. Let's go.
All right.
Shout out to Puerto Rico.
Oh.
Puerto Rico.
Oh.
Shout out to Germ Annie.
Okay.
Shout out to Canada
All right. Hey.
and Atlanta.
Hey.
Shout out to Australia.
Good night,
Hey.
Mike.
Shout out to Ireland.
Uh-huh.
Nobody else is worth mentioning because, again, they're less than 1%.
They're still worth mentioning.
We're still working it out.
Yeah, we're working
Yeah,
out.
don't know we're back.
Yeah, we love y'all.
Okay, yeah, you're right. You know what? We've been gone for a
Been
while.
gone for a minute.
So, shout out to all the under 1%ers that still rock with us. We got still got our Ukraine listener.
Oh,
All
good.
right, come on, Ukraine.
Yeah.
Strong.
So, shout out to everybody that listens. Thank you for listening. Subscribe, rate, and review us. Because in the words of Bomani Jones, give us 5 stars. Because if you only give us 4 stars, we're inclined to believe that you are a hater. And this has been the Poet Up Podcast. Check us out on YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube page. Shout outs to Makers Mark 46.
What up, Makers Mark? Send more.
Yeah.
Shout out to Rudy Francisco.
Shout out to Rudy.
Francisco.
Shout out to every cardigan sweater wearer out there. Y'all know
My
what it
people.
is. His people.
And we out.